I don't have a Gruul deck, but if I did, it would look something like this. Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Esmond.
And I'm Matt.
And we are here, of course, for the Etali double deck tech. I'm doing the backside. You're doing...
Yes. I'm doing the front side, I guess.
Because it's a transforming Etali. Yeah, so Matthew's doing the good side, I'm doing the blighted side.
Yes,
and,
because who wants the blighted side?
And we don't care about budget either, so I didn't care about budget.
I didn't, but I'm making the deck for myself, so I kept it down to what I could afford. Yeah.
Okay, and of course we start with the good side.
Etali. The front side is everything we want from Etali. Fun fact, they spoiled the card at midnight our time. I had the first draft ready to go in 133 minutes. Okay, so when you see something like this, the first thing you think about is, of course, flicker. But in Gruul colors, what flicker do you have, right? So my extensive research has found only 4 pieces of flicker that can be run in Gruul colored decks. I've used 3 of them. Why not 4? Well, you'll find out later. Okay, so the first 3 pieces of flicker are the ones you will find in virtually any flicker deck, all the standard blue-white flicker stuff. So there's Conjurer's Closet, the OG, the classic. Yep. Then there's Sword of Hearth and Home, which has proven to be a new classic. It also has the benefit of ramping. And then Golden Argosy is a new thing. A card of much contention, but no choice.
Etali has to accrue it to get the flicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like I'm going to attack with Etali.
Okay.
I just want the trigger. Yeah. Okay. Then we have to get creative. So how do you make flicker not flicker in Gruul? You make copies. You make copies, or you let Etali die and then you bring Etali back. Bramble Sovereign, copy.
Yeah.
Curse Mirror, copy. Also Ram. Delina, copy.
It's a good one actually.
Yep.
Because it's non-legendary.
So I skipped this just now, but since we're going to scroll down, I'm going to cover this. So Cauldron of Souls is not a copy, but Persist is kind of a fake flicker. And it also ties into random interaction that you'll see later. Okay? So Eternal Witness is similar to Persist, sort of in that way. So I can just let Etali die, I'll bring him back. That's a flicker. Flamerush Rider, Self-Explanatory, flicker. Oh look, flicker. Food Chain is the one I struggled with because it's still considered expensive card, so to say.
Well, it's been reprinted, so
it's been reprinted. Yeah, so I can afford it now. My idea was that since I'm making so many copies of stuff, right, it doesn't necessarily need to be Etali, but like some other stuff. So I exile those tokens, I get the mana value for that, and then I recast Etali.
Makes sense. But
Etali himself also works in a pinch. I only want the trigger, right? Or you know what? All the creatures that you get from your opponent's deck, you exile them. Green Warden, Eternal Witness on Protein, Hate Mirage, Self-Explanatory, Heat Shimmer. Okay, at this point you're probably asking how many copies am I going to make? The answer is yes. Helm of the Host, don't leave home without it. So the best part about Helm of the Host is that the Etalis don't die to the legend rule.
Yeah.
So they stick around. That looks more threatening. Justice was one that I didn't think of the first time, but then I found it, then immediately put it in. Can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. So not only does it give you the extra Etali token, it also, since it dies to legend rule, right, you get a card.
Oh yes!
Yeah, I mean you do need to discard for Juxi, so it's not like you go up a card, but you can loot that way.
No, you get the trigger, and then it dies, you draw a card.
Looting with Etali. Mirage Phalanx, same thing. And with the added benefit of you being able to switch the creature that you're copying. Mirror Match.
Yes.
You know how difficult it is when you flip 5 hits on Mirror Match and you have to resolve 5 ETB triggers at once?
Well, why did you build this deck?
Why did I build this deck? To resolve as many ETB triggers at once.
Okay.
And then this one's a new card, Mirror Style Master. So it's kind of it's a bit more unwieldy than your traditional copy card, but it works, and when it works, it works.
Because it needs to attack.
Yeah, it needs to attack. Mirror Pool. I wouldn't say that Mirror Pool is just there because it can copy, but I think this is one of the weakest inclusions because I don't have a lot of colorless sources. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, whatever. Nim Death Venter is that persist not persisting. So Etali comes back hopefully. Otheon, another new card, makes copies. Copies, it's all copies.
It's all copies.
The classic.
Oh wow, what a surprise.
The classic Splinter Twin, don't live on without it. And okay, you're probably sick of the word copy right now, so I'll just give you one last one. That's Twin Flame.
Nice.
Nice.
Alright.
Okay. Then I get to draw sources. Greater Good is one of it. I want to point out that because of the way the stacks works, you can't actually sacrifice the Etali copy to this, but there's other stuff you're copying, so you might be able to sacrifice those instead. Like a Rigger Behemoth. Monarch is quite a crazy draw source. It's probably the most insane draw source ever printed, kinda, sorta.
Yeah.
Quite a no-brainer. It also helps me ramp.
Yeah.
Okay, Esmond's most hated card, Solemn Simulacrum.
Well, I would say it's good in this deck.
It's better in this deck,
Yes,
yes.
for sure.
Especially if you're making copies of it.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you have a lot of basic lands.
Yep.
Sure.
And here we get to my Cauldron of Souls interaction piece, the Great Henge. So the Great Henge is both a draw source and a mana rock, but with Cauldron of Souls, when Etali dies and comes back with Persist with a -1/-1 token, the Great Henge will add on the +1/+1 token. Okay, so if you had a sack outlet, you could.
I see. Which doesn't win the game.
Does not win the game. Who wants to win the game? You just want Etali triggers. And then there's this, a new card, Tribute to the World Tree. I still don't know if it's better than something like Garruk's Uprising. I figure if I'm making multiple copies of creatures, then pumping them all couldn't be a bad thing, right?
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, this also works with persist if you persist other creatures, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so that synergy is there.
Nice.
Of course, Cauldron of Souls is just one card, so I don't plan to make it the main thing, but it's good to have. With all these copy shenanigans going on, of course, you want some other good ETB triggers. You can't always be just Etaliing all the time, especially after the Etali gets prohibitively expensive, right? So
You could flip it.
you could, but no. No. So this is one of my choices. Brutalizer Ezach. I really like Brutalizer Ezach actually. I think it's really underrated.
Oh my gosh.
The reason why I first remembered this card for EDH a long time ago was because my playgroup was playing a lot with the Teros Gods. And we all wanted a way to exile the Teros Gods. But not every color can exile, right?
Right.
So we hit upon this. Why not just return them to bottom? Okay, this was before the rules changed that return them to the command zone.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it still works. It does get rid of indestructible non-creatures. And the tutor is also not bad either. Especially if I'm making copies, then I can just find all the creatures I want.
That's cool.
Speaking of creatures I want, Vandal Blast in green.
Yeah, such a good card.
Such a good card.
Such
And the best part is, even if you go overboard and copy like 20 of these, you can't accidentally destroy your stuff either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I chose this over Reclamation Sage.
Yeah, definitely.
I say that, but Reclamation Sage is at the bottom anyway. So Eternal Witness comes back, of course. You want to ETB it. Multiple tags here. So Ramp, especially if you have multiple copies. Guard Graters is another iffy one for me, but I think in the right situation it could do well. You're copying stuff, making the treasures, so when people inevitably try to get rid of Etali, then you can cast Etali again.
Yes.
Also, gaining a bunch of life isn't bad either.
I think it's pretty good.
So Green Warden's back, yes, self-explanatory. Okay, Ghoul Rage Beast is my board wipe of choice. Because if you're copying this dude, you just kill everything, hopefully.
It's so good. How does this work with copying Etali tokens that will be sacrificed to the legend rule?
It won't, because
it won't trigger.
Yeah, once the fight cannot happen, then it just won't happen.
Right, okay.
Panharmonicon, you knew it was coming. It had to be here, so it's here.
Okay.
Ravager Worm is something like Ghoul Rage Beast, but with the added benefit of possibly having haste. Getting rid of a Maze of Ith is also not bad. And here we have exactly what I promised, Reclamation Sage.
Yeah.
Psionic Resonator, of course. Anything that says additional Etali trigger, I'll put it in.
Okay.
Wisdom Surge was a later edition. I thought if there's so many creatures entering the battlefield, why not make them do something?
Yeah, it seems like a good include.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
this is probably a good win con as well.
Yeah, it can be an alternate win con, especially if, you know, you can't cast Etali anymore because it costs like 100 mana. Wood Elves, classic, ramp. Wood for Primus is the only other persist synergy in this deck. So yeah, pretty much self-explanatory. You destroy pesky artifacts, pesky planeswalkers, and it comes back
Wow, so this is actually a combo that can destroy all your opponents' non-creatures permanents.
Well, I don't want to say landy.
But it is landy.
It is landy. I won't target lands if I can help it. And then now we come to the fun inclusion. All I want to do, if not Etali, is to take everyone's board. So you take everyone's board, you take everyone's deck. The only thing missing is taking everyone's graveyard, but we don't have black. So what can we do? With Etali triggers, especially since I'm going all in on copying Etali, right? I want some Exile Synergy. So Exile Synergy, we have Feldon. Feldon will make a wolf each time I cast a spell from Exile, which is almost always going to be 4. So getting 4 wolves is not bad. Feldon also feeds herself, so it doesn't necessarily need to be Etali. You can use Feldon herself to help you cast cards. Sometimes you're desperate. That's red. Prescient Archaeologist, self-explanatory. Everything I'm casting, and this is even better than it is in the mono red Etali deck, because this Etali definitely getting the spell, right? So yeah, definitely getting 4 triggers.
Guaranteed hits.
Yeah, guaranteed hits. What, Magic Sorcerer?
Yeah.
This was the point in testing I ran out of RAM.
I see.
Because when every one of my opponent's spells had cascade.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It says only the first spell you cast from Exile, but when you have copies of what Magic Sorcerer,
right,
it starts to go stupid. Then we come to the category that I have very descriptively named Hey.
Okay.
Yes. So Command Beacon is my ace in the hole for when Etali's 100 mana. I'm just going to use this to bring it to my head. It also serves as my one-off colorless sword. Besides Sol Ring, that might be used to activate Mirror Pool. Okay, but the real haircuts are these two: Mirror Gallery and Mirror Box.
Right.
Just when your opponent thinks, he's just getting Etali triggers, what's the worst that could happen? Now all the Etali copies can stay. There's this one, Road of Return. I actually like this more than a lot of people.
I mean, it's a Command Beacon effect.
It is a Command Beacon effect.
effect.
Yeah. Some people don't like that it's a one-off. That's why they would much rather have Eternal Witness.
Yeah.
But the fact that this also brings your commander back to your hand, I think it fits this situation. Interaction.
Four pieces of interaction.
Okay, so Blasphemous Act is my reset button, just in case. Decimate is my targeted removal, one of my only targeted removal. Sometimes you just want to get rid of specific things, or you want to get rid of a whole bunch of different kinds of things.
But this one, they have to have one of everything.
Yeah, it has to have one of everything. That's why it's kind of iffy. Okay, the two are back, the two fighters. Yep, and this is what I was mentioning.
Yes, your combo?
Yep, the needlessly convoluted combo.
It's a pretty good combo, actually.
Yeah.
Like a 2-3-piece combo.
There's another honorable mention down there, but I can't. I didn't put it in mine because it was a friend who brought it up to me. But yeah, I'll cover it. Okay, so these three need no explanation. Of course, gamble.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to gamble for stuff. Then hero intervention. Generally, I don't mind Etali dying, but sometimes the situation doesn't make that favorable.
Right.
So I might want to save the board.
Yeah.
Similarly with Tamiyo Safekeeping.
Yeah.
The best thing about Etali getting green this time is that we have ramp. So classic ramp package. All my favorites: Cultivate, Explosive Vegetation, all the stuff I've mentioned before. Anakamansa, not exactly ramp, but you've talked about reducers before, right?
Reducers,
yeah. So everything in the deck is reduced.
Yeah.
Then of course Farseek, Kodama's Reach, Vigo Behemoth is back, Sakura Child Elder. Particularly interesting with copies. Skyshot Claim, and everyone's favorite broken card, Soaring.
Everyone's least favorite broken.
And everything that I've mentioned before. And then of course the last one, new card, Foreign Klex. When I added this in, I actually didn't think of flipping him. Like, I don't ever expect to flip him.
It's pretty cool.
It's an upside lah, I guess.
Yeah. Win more, yeah.
The rest are just the lands. But I do want to point out that because of all the RAM effects I have going on, and I expect to be able to do it a lot, I have a lot more basics than normal.
Definitely.
I also want to point out this one, because Oran Reef goes crazy with Feldon.
I thought you were going to say Persist.
Yeah, Persist too, but you're expecting that, right? So besides the Persist, it goes crazy with Feldon because like 4 wolves you get an extra 4 power. Then a lot of the non-Etali creatures that I'm making copy of are all green.
Okay.
These are untagged because they don't have any specific purpose in the deck, but I want to cast them.
I see.
Yeah, these are the cards that I want to cast. Seasons Pass is amazing. Draw 7.
Okay.
Basically, Dance with Calamity is... I love it.
Okay.
I love it. By the way, the average CMC of this deck is 3 to 4. So you
Right.
can use that probability to cast as many things as you want.
Okay.
And there's a Savannah Stampede. Yeah,
Yeah, good card.
good card. Just good card. Okay, so that's the end of my list, but I do want to point out that in the whole research looking for flicker pieces that could be played in Gruul, I found one reserve list card
Ah,
that
okay.
is not in this list because I don't have it, the shop doesn't have it, and I can't afford it. Taunus's Coffin. This is the most amazing piece of flicker I have ever seen. There's no downside. It can be activated at instant speed, and it's a Vedalken Shackles kind of effect where as long as it's tapped, it exiles a creature, so it kind of puts them in the coffin, right? So
Okay.
you can choose not to untap it, but
Okay.
when it does untap, then the creature comes back.
Right.
So the thing is, what makes this even better, it also comes back if the coffin gets removed. And then there's this combo that my friend pointed out to me. This is for you, Andre. If you have Splinter Twin, which is in the deck, Umbral Mantle, and Burgie, you can cast every card in every deck. This is how it works. You enchant Etali with Splinter Twin. You equip the Umbral Mantle to Etali. You have Burgie on field. Since Etali guarantees you the spell, you tap Etali, you make the Etali copies, you cast 4 spells.
Oh, right.
You get
You have
4
4
mana
mana.
from Burgie, you untap with the Umbral Mantle, you have infinite red mana, and you cast every single card in every single deck. It's beautiful, but it's not in the deck. Because
Well, until you hit like 2 board wipes from your opponents.
you don't need to cast it.
You need to get the mana.
Oh. Well, that's red for you. That's red for you. I didn't think of this. Always think of the ceiling. Never think of the floor. Always think of the ceiling, yeah? So, as I was saying with the Dance with Calamity thing, the average cost of the deck is around 3 to 4.
So the
as reflected in the color distribution. It's all RAM. A lot of the deck is actually green. But the reason why I put in more red sources than usual is because a lot of the copy effects need an additional red.
Right.
So, Flame Shadow Conjuring, Twin Flame, if you multicast it, same thing, you need extra red, which is why I put more red than usual. Yeah.
Okay.
For the... Well, I can afford it.
3-3-1 for a fully fleshed out EDH deck is honestly quite affordable.
I would say it's...
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not cheap, but it's not too expensive either.
So that was just the front side of Etali.
Front side!
So I did the back side of Etali, and we are just gonna go through that very quickly. 5 minutes, I promise it'll be
Because it's the boring
over.
side.
It is called Blightali.
Blightali.
For obvious reasons, we don't care about this side of Etali. We only want to look at this side. The very cool side, Trample Indestructible.
Indestructible.
Deals combat damage to get that many poison counters, so we just need to, get through for 10 damage.
Infect, not infect.
So the whole point of this deck is to get to 7 mana,
And then get to 10 mana.
and then get to 9 mana.
9 mana. 9 mana and 2 life.
So, obviously, Ram card draw, Ram, Cost Reducer, Ram card draw, Cost Reducer for dinosaurs.
For dinosaur.
Ramp, Super Ramp Cycling, Ramp Sakura Tribe, Ramp and damage. Oh no, this is Cost Reducer for the first creature spell you cast. I like this card a lot. More Ramp, Finding Forests, Soul Ring, Ramp for creatures, Ramp for forests, Ramp, it's a dinosaur.
Oh crap, it's a dinosaur!
Cost Reducer for dinosaurs to play more lands.
I see. This is all part of your plan.
I think this is a dinosaur. It's been errated, right?
Has it been errated?
I don't know, but it looks like a dinosaur. Monarch and double your mana. Boring Flags because, we're Phyrexian now. So
Yes,
we
we
tap for
Phyrexian
more
now.
mana.
I like how we included 2 different boring flags.
I know, right? So this is even more mana, and we have to survive because getting to like 7 and then 9 mana, people are gonna want to kill us. So we have removal, we have board wipe, removal, board wipe, board wipe, one-sided wipe, some removal, a board wipe cycling, Vandal Blast, and this is interesting because Cascade, and then if we do get the first Etali trigger, which we have to cast it once, and then this cascades, and then you can deal damage to each creature and planeswalker your opponents control.
Definitely works.
So I think it's pretty good.
Yep.
And no matter what, it's always going to be 2 at least.
Yep.
And then we have to protect the dino. So before the dino comes out, we can always cast this first, give it hexproof. And then this one is Shroud and Regenerate. This one 1 mana to stop something. Champion's Helm equipped for 1, Hexproof. Commander's Plate equipped for 3, Protection from everything but Gruul, Deflecting Sword. Daring Spotlight, one of my favorite cards because we can sacrifice it to protect it, but we can also make it unblockable.
So you can shine a spotlight on
Yes,
Etali.
yes. Augmenter, we can play this on like turn 5 and 6 before Etali comes down, that's fine. Haja, one of my favorite new cards from Brothers War. Legendary creatures get indestructible. Heroic Intervention because intervention. Greaves, we don't need haste, but Shroud is good. Sarif,
We don't need haste?
We don't need haste.
How can we not need
We don't need
haste?
haste because we're gonna flip it. We don't care about attacking with the front side unless we pay 7 and then 9 and then
Yeah.
give it haste. So there's like 16 mana.
Is that not the plan?
That's
You
what-
ram to 16.
Yeah, Sarif for Hexproof. Death Touch is also relevant because it has Trample.
Yes.
Steely Resolve, naming dinosaurs of course. Give them Shroud.
Surely not Elf.
Silver Boots. Silver Safekeeper, because we're gonna have a lot of lands, we can sacrifice a land, give Etali Shroud.
Oh, the horror.
Tamio Safekeeping, Hexproof Indestructible for 1 mana. Tima Sabertooth, just to bounce Etali back. Flicker!
Flicker!
Diva Stand, same, better than Tamio Safekeeping, and Wrap in Vigor to regenerate our dinos. We have more dinos!
Oh,
we
no.
have Etali!
Huh, I feel like I've seen this before.
Etali the OG.
I've seen this card before.
We might want to give him haste.
Yes, we might want to give him haste.
And Tyrannex Rex already has haste.
Oh look, a dinosaur.
Can't be countered. Toxic. Why not? More counters.
Toxic.
And we have a golem.
And the golem.
It's called.
Before he became a dinosaur.
Yes. I also want to give this haste. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We have literally 2 ways to draw cards.
Very nice.
Imposing Grandeur. One of a good one here because you basically get 7 cards. Valakut Awakening.
Kinda,
Yeah,
sorta.
kinda. Then lands, we have good lands. Ramp land, card draw land.
Who wants good
Recursion
lands?
land, card draw land, destruction land,
Destruction
ramp
land.
uncounterable land, haste land,
Haste land.
fight land,
Fight land.
protection land. This is a great one for like any commander deck. Card draw land, unblockable land, make creature land, ramp land, card draw,
Temple
card
of the
draw.
Force God, really?
Yeah.
I really don't like Temple of the Force God.
Well, I don't like Solemn Requiem.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then we have the rest of the lands here. That's nothing very boring. A lot of considering stuff, and then the mana curve is here. So gonna ramp on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and then cast Etali on turn 5,
I was just
and then flip him on turn 6.
I was just like looking at the entire list and I'm like, okay, so cards in common that the two of us have like literally 3.
And it's mostly green because we're ramping.
Yeah.
It's a ramp deck. Oh my gosh.
You see?
It's a $620 deck.
So much money for such a boring list when you could spend half of that, literally half of that, and get the exciting one.
Wait, why is it so expensive?
Why is it so expensive?
Is
Black
it-
Steel, Black Steel.
The lands are 200.
Your ancient tomb
For-
is your ancient tomb is already $50.
$600
$600
to ramp into Etali and flip him.
$600.
And just to show you the distribution of spells here,
you just want to show that.
we have 39 lands.
That's very bold. I only played 35.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing to point out because we need a lot
Yep.
of lands. We want to hit land drops until turn 6, turn 7,
Yep.
and maybe 2 more lands in
Yep.
case commander attacks. Hope you enjoyed this front and back side of Etali deck tag. Let me know in the comments which side you prefer.
Front side. Front side.
And you know, if you have ideas on how you would build to maximize both sides, I think that would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but I
Yeah.
also think it'll be a bit crowded.
Yeah. Well, maybe you flicker him a few times and then like you infect one person out and
Yeah.
I don't know. Or you make non-legendary copies of 3 Italis, flip all 3, and then attack your opponents.
At this rate, you might as well just make copies of Black Steel.
Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, and let us know what to do next